We'll move on from here and take a statement from the Acting Vice Chancellor of the Accra Technical University, Professor Amevi Acakpovi, who is already on his way. Let's put our hands together for him as he comes to deliver his statement.
The Honorable Minister for Environment, Science and Technology, the Chairperson of the Advisory Committee of the SDEV Foundation, the CEO of SDEV, and then our partners from UNESCO and development partners, and then the Mayor of Accra. Please, a very good morning to you all. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, and especially our youth, good morning. The good morning is not getting any answer. I can see we need breakfast. Please, good morning once again. It is both a privilege and a responsibility to stand before you at this very landmark event, that's the Africa Regional Conference on Education and Scale Development. For us, this is a gathering that echoes the most urgent call of our time. And I say the most urgent because it is the most urgent. Jobs for the youth now and into the future. As the Acting Vice Chancellor of Accra Technical University and a lifelong advocate for applied knowledge and industry-driven learning, I carry this message with the weight of purpose and the optimism of possibilities. The youth crisis is now, but so is the opportunity, and that is my interest in this discussion. Honorable Chair, today, Africa is the youngest continent in the world, and according to the African Development Bank, more than 60% of Africa's population is under 25. And yet, the youth unemployment rate hovers above 30% in most of our African countries, with millions of people who are underemployed or stuck in informal work. It's really unfortunate. To make this case even worse, let me say that the International Labour Organization estimates that globally, 1 in 5 young people are neither in education, employment, nor training. An acronym of NEET, neither in education, employment, nor training. In Ghana, recent data from the Ghana Statistical Service indicate that over 1.7 million young people are jobless or underemployed. Underemployed in the sense that the person tells you he's in employment, but the salary can hardly even cover the transportation fees to the job. And that causes other form of, struggles. So I want you to reflect deeply on some of the things I've just mentioned. If you have a population which is very strong, with a lot of youth, yet they are jobless or underemployed, where are we going? These are not just statistics, they are really missed opportunities, wasted talent, and unfulfilled dreams. Because imagine this population is rather working and can build Africa. There are missed opportunities. At the core of youth unemployment, I think the most critical things we need to see, and I agree with, is the issue of lack of skills and competencies. Majority of the people who are not able to work or who are somehow underemployed is because they lack the skills and the competency required to fulfill most of the job requirement. And that's the critical challenge we need to solve together. But here again is the good news. Youth are generally not a problem, they are the solution. What they need is the right education. They need the right tools and the right platform to thrive, to create their own future. And this is all we have to do. TVET education, in my view, and coming from a technical university, is the most prominent solution to this problem. If TVET education is able to empower youth with the skills and competencies required, to do most of the job, they will eliminate or to some extent eradicate, this chaos of people not getting job and leading to a lot of trouble. And that's why I am pleased to mention this statement that TVET is not just training for job, it is training for innovation, it is training for entrepreneurship, and also for national transformation. Today, I am convinced and very certain that the right education must, number one, equip students to start their own business rather than seeking employment. People who are educated and they have certificate in their hand are people who should create jobs. This is what the economy demands today. So if they have the competencies and the skills, they can do that. Again, the right education, number two, must link classroom learning with real industry demand. Away, training in silos. Again, and that is a very important point for me, the right education must embrace the digital transformation and the emerging technology that we have made today. And such are the things like artificial intelligence, IoTs, renewable energy, cybersecurity, and the list continues. Why am I saying that? I am saying this, the third point is very fundamental, Mr. Chair, because there is a statement from the World Economic Forum that says that by 2027, that's exactly in 2 years, more than 85 million jobs will be displaced, and 97 million new roles will emerge. And that calls for deep reflection. If about 85 million jobs will be displaced, this displacement means either the job will no longer exist or will be transformed in a way that you can no longer perform it, with your obsolete or archaic, method. Maybe they will have to integrate the number of AI that you need to upgrade yourself to a certain level to be able to meet those job requirements. So if you are here today, don't be afraid that AI is taking your job. You just need to get yourself trained to meet the new job that is coming soon. Otherwise, you'll be left behind. So at this juncture, let me elaborate a few initiatives undertaken by our dear institution, Accra Technical University, to exemplify the talk I'm making so far. Recently, we have had to create a center known as the Center for Entrepreneurship and Incubation Services. A call is out. This is to look at brilliant students on campus, put together their projects, link them to industry, and make them mature those projects into real, enterprises. We have a drone competency, center, which we developed together with Koreans. We have the A4 Digital Center, and I'm glad to see the pioneers of the A4 Center even in this hall, who have trained in digital training, AI, and many of the initiatives. Even just recently, we were in the news for creating some huge, welding workshop in collaboration with DTI through MasterCard Foundation. The innovations are many. We also succeeded to establish the Sustainable Energy Service Center that trains people in energy auditing as part of a collaboration and a grant through the MEDA. This is to mention a few. But, Mr. Chairman, before I take my seat, I'd like to talk about the industry-academia collaboration, which for me is no more an option, but an obligation. The time for academic silos is over. Africa must embrace bold partnership between academia, industry, and even the government. And because without that, you cannot move. You cannot create a conducive environment for students to actually thrive. At ATU, for instance, we are glad to mention that over the past 2 years, we signed about 30 memoranda of understanding, and with international partners, local industry in Africa and beyond, and all these aiming at aligning training with employability so that students understand what they are doing and how they can easily move into the industry. There are a lot of other initiatives, but I think because of times I will leave them. I want to throw a challenge to you before I take my seat. A challenge to all of us, indeed. As we deliberate over the next few days, let us remember this profound truth. And I take this also from the speech of the chairman. Africa is not poor. Africa, in our view, is simply yet not optimized. Optimization is about using the best resources you have to their best capability and potential. And I think that's a problem. This is a continent endowed with a lot of, resources, overflowing with untapped potentials, but potential must be matched with actionable support. They don't come just by hazard. The right education, no matter how well delivered, is not enough to make a substantial change in the people. The right education must actually be followed by empowerment, by seeding fund, so that people get, what it takes to make the change. Not just hearing, not just doing, but not having the environment where you can make a substantial change. They must be empowered. And so, therefore, that's the challenge I'm throwing to all of us. It is time for Africa's wealthiest individual. We hear more than often people who are very rich. Please put the money into this. Business leaders, philanthropists, to go beyond the charity and invest in structured, in very scalable development fund. And I'm happy to mention one of the very great examples in Africa we cannot deny. That is the example of the Tony Elumelumu, maybe forgive me if I don't pronounce well, foundation in Nigeria. But this is a huge foundation which is known for giving seed fund for people, and giving model training. So entrepreneurs, students, you can go for some fund, and then you want to go in agribusiness, they give you some few mentorship, they give you the money, and they give you the field. You try, and if you succeed, then you progress the more. That is the way to go. If you truly believe in Africa's youth, we must therefore build systems that believe in their ideas. That is how we transform training into innovation and innovation into inclusive prosperity. Let us not just educate the next generation, but let us empower them. Let us empower them to build Africa as well as the vision we had. In conclusion, allow me to salute the SDF Foundation for its visionary leadership in convening this powerful platform. Now, in its second edition, for your information, we had this last year, and it was at the Movenpick Ambassador Hotel, and for remaining steadfast in the mission to reshape Africa's education and employment landscape. Accra Technical University is proud to have walked this journey with you from the very first conference, and ever more proud to witness how far you have come today. This is not just a conference for us, and if you listen very carefully to the speech of the Professor Chair, it is a movement that is uniting ideas with actions, youth with opportunities, and institutions with impact. May the ARC-EDS platform grow from strength to strength, and may our partnership continue to light the path towards a more innovative, a more employable, and empowered African future. Let us work together, let us build together, and let us transform Africa together. Thank you very much for listening to me.